I am so excited to talk today about my favorite psalm in the Bible, Psalm 91, with Dr. James Merritt. You say this is one of the most memorized psalms. I have memorized parts of it. I've said it when I'm afraid, reminded myself of the truths of this psalm. Why is it so loved?
I'll tell you why. True story, Cheryl. Not far from here is a golf course called Sugarloaf. There's, in fact, a PGA tournament's played there every year. And the pro there is my teacher. I play golf, and he's a member of our church, and so he takes me under his wing and taught me a lot about golf. He had a liver transplant about 8 years ago, and they didn't know if he was going to make it or not. He's in great health today. But the first time I met him, I didn't know if he's a believer or not. I was introduced to him, and he was a believer. The first time I met him, he told me a story. And then he said, he calls me Doc. He said, Doc, he said, I read Psalm 91 every day of my life and have for the last 8 years. Well, I've read it before, but I went back that afternoon and read it, and I forgot about what a great psalm that it is. So here's a man that had a liver transplant and, doesn't know how long it's going to last, may have to have another one. And so he can appreciate life in a way that we can't. So when I went back and read it, I said, oh yeah, now I understand why he would. Because he's learned some things. Number one, this psalm tells us we rest under the shadow of God's peace. He needs peace. He doesn't need anxiety in his life. That's one thing the doctors told him. And he told me he has a perfect peace knowing, hey, if I live or I die, I belong to the Lord. And then the psalm tells us that we walk behind the shield of God's power. He knows every day, better than most people out there, what's keeping him alive right now. It's not the transplanted liver. It literally is the power of God. And then number three, we look to the security of God's promise. When he reads this psalm every day, he just takes refuge and takes comfort in the fact, whether I live or whether I die, I belong to the Lord. And God has promised me I will not leave this earth until he's finished with me. And then the last thing is, he lives in the certainty of God's protection. He knows at the end of the day that no matter what the doctors say, no matter what the transplant has to say, or what even these rejection medicines do, at the end of the day, it is God's protection that is preserving his life on a daily basis, and he's just learned to rest in him.
The Bible says in him we live and breathe and have our being. We literally are alive. We're breathing this minute because of the power of God keeping us alive. When we know that, we can certainly rest in a new way. And you've taken a lot of the wisdom from these Psalms. You've written into a new book for a new year, 52 weeks of the Psalms. We're going to make that available to people.
And I would say, just going over this, if there's one chapter I believe that's worth the price of the book, it's this one. And in fact, all you have to do is send whatever love gift you'd like to send to the ministry, and we would love to send you a complimentary copy.
Thanks so much for partnering with us, Dr. Merritt, to make that available. We'd love to get this new resource into your hand. Hit reset for a fresh new year. If you want a copy, you can give us a call at 1-800-265-3100, or you can go to crossroads.ca.